want to thank you for joining us today for Voiceover In and Out. Hope you all are having a wonderful day as we are here. Praise the Lord. The way I want to present this and kind of come at this today is I want to sort of present it from the perspective of things that might be perceived as challenges to those trying to surf the web on an iPhone. Because if you look at what people are doing, oftentimes, they say, well, I don't mind using my iPhone, but I'm sure I can't do, any really serious, heavy web browsing because, I need to be able to apply for jobs and I want to do, online shopping and banking and everything. And I just don't know that I can do that on my iPhone. Well, of course, the answer is you absolutely can. And you especially can on the iPad. Just to review, as we talked about this on Monday, I am not doing iPad demos of Safari right now because we have a separate class for that, our iPad class. And there's enough of a difference that I really want to, allow that to have its own airtime. But I will say this to you, as I said on Monday, Safari on the iPad is a true desktop class experience. And so any website that works on a computer will work the same way and actually probably better on an iPad, okay? And even if it doesn't work on the iPhone, so even if your iPhone gives you a message that says, you must have a computer to view this page. Well, sorry for the running water. It'll only be a few more seconds, I promise. Even if it says that on your computer, your iPad is capable of displaying it. It calls itself a Mac, really, on a lot of websites that when they do their statistics. So whether you're trying to do something like WordPress online, now, of course, there's an app for WordPress too, but whether you're trying to do something like that on the web or whatever it may be, online banking, it doesn't matter. It works perfectly on the iPad. iPhone is going to be somewhere in the middle because when it can, it will do it. And you can even request the desktop site on the iPhone, but it's not quite the same as when you do it on an iPad. Okay. But there's enough that can be done on the iPhone that we really want to talk about it. And so some of these things that are often proven to be challenging to people. And the first one I just kind of covered, which is mobile websites, right? Okay. That's something that sometimes it's a problem if all you're using is an iPhone or an iPad, because so the first challenge that I want to talk to you about when it comes to browsing is this idea of mobile web browsing. What can be done about it? And the answer really is, of course, use an iPad, because I've just described to you that there's no issue on an iPad. But what if you need to use
before you go into that, I just want to point out that it's all personal preference, and I'm probably a great iPhone Safari user, but as Matt knows, and I'm about to tell you guys, if there's an app for it, I'm using it. I'm not against Safari. I just like the simplicity of the apps, especially when a developer takes the time out to make sure that VoiceOver can work with it. Nine times out of 10, I'm going to use the app. I know how to use Safari. I can teach you how to use it just as well as Matt can. But I prefer apps if there is one, and 99% of the time there is. So I'm just pointing that out to you as a user. That is personal preference. You don't have to use Safari all the time, but you should definitely know how to use it.
Right. And I agree. I mentioned that on Monday, but I think you had to leave before that. But, by and large, I typically do the same thing. Now, there's a few apps that you use that I don't like, the 9to5 Mac and some of those, cord cut. But basically, I'm the same way. Like if I'm going to do Amazon shopping, I use the app. I do not use the website, and most cases I do, because I'm in agreement with Cliff. When someone designs an app, first of all, they're taking advantage of special tools that Apple provides to them. And secondly, they can go out of their way to make sure it's VoiceOver compatible. And so it's a really, really good experience usually if you use the app. Now, in those times when you have a website that says you can't visit from a mobile browser, that should be the first line of defense. If you don't have an iPad, and maybe even if you do, you still want the app, but that should really be the first line of defense, is saying, well, okay, is there a mobile app and will it do what I want? A lot of times there is. So a lot of your banking websites, for example, will not allow an iPhone to do the real intensive banking on the website. Now, again, the iPad will, but not the iPhone. But what they'll have for you is a mobile banking app, okay, that'll do everything you need. And so you really don't have to worry about it. So that would be the first way to combat that. If there's not an app, you can also try Request Desktop Site. And that can be found under your page settings. You remember we went to page settings the other day? It was just to the left of the address and search bar. It's where we found the reader mode. Well, there's an option in there to request the desktop site. And it's not going to be the same as the iPad being a true desktop experience, but it may solve the problem. It might, okay? So that's a couple of little pointers about one of the potential challenges, okay? Mobile sites. The next one I'd like to talk about is I'd like to talk about online forms. People don't like having to fill out online forms because they're worried about how well they're going to work with VoiceOver. And I want to present this from the perspective of, let's introduce to you Autofill and Keychain. Because when you start using Autofill and you start using Keychain, it is going to completely change the way you experience logging into websites, filling out online forms, and even entering credit card info. So let's talk about Keychain a little bit. Keychain is one of those features a lot of people don't use because they just don't know what it is or what it does. What Keychain does is that Keychain stores your login credentials for websites and apps, and it stores them in a secure location that is military grade encrypted. Okay, so we're talking 128-bit. I mean, it's very, very high level encryption. And you can use Keychain with iCloud, which is what's really awesome, because if you have more than one device, of course, your passwords, your logins are going to sync across all of your devices, okay? So Keychain stores your passwords, and that can happen in a couple of ways. It can happen if you visit a website for the first time after you've set up Keychain, and you go into, let's say you want to log into Amazon, and so you enter your Amazon, username and password, or your email address and password, and you will actually get a prompt. Do you want to save this password in your iCloud Keychain? And you can just hit save, and it's automatically saved for you. You can also add passwords to Keychain manually once it's turned on, and you can add them by going to settings and passwords. And you can literally just enter your passwords, username, and a website to go with it so that you know what it's for. It is also possible to allow your iOS device to create strong passwords for you and then store them in Keychain. Now, depending on how the website is did, this will work flawlessly, and Apple's artificial intelligence will be able to identify the requirements for the password and then create a password that meets those requirements. Sometimes a website is coded in such a way that those requirements are not made clear to the artificial intelligence, and what will end up happening is Keychain will create a password that's too strong for the website. And so what you'll have to then do is go back and just manually create your own, because it'll say that one is, too strong to meet the requirements. They're never too weak to meet the requirements, but sometimes they're too strong. So you can then go back and you can edit, but that's not typical. That's very, very rare. Most of the time they work fine. And once it creates a strong password, of course, again, it automatically gets stored in your Keychain for use on all your devices. And that's still not the end of the story. Keychain also allows you, of course, to look up your passwords at any time. And when you do, it will let you know about passwords that are being reused, because, of course, that's a bad idea. We'll have a separate discussion on security and privacy. And when we do, we'll rehash this. It's a bad idea to reuse passwords, because if someone gets hold of your email address and password combination, and you use that on 12 different websites, well, now that malicious, that person with the malicious intent now has access to 12 different websites of your accounts. So you don't want to do that. You want to use a different password for each website. And so Keychain will let you know, oh, I see that you've used this password 5 different times. You really ought to consider changing it. It'll also let you know if your password has been found to be in a data leak. And it'll give you an option to, now you can't, Keychain won't automatically change the password. It's going to take you to the website to change it. But, it'll let you know, hey, you really ought to change this because it's been found to have been compromised. So it's a really, really good resource. Now, Keychain also stores your credit card information and your contact information, but not in the same place, not in passwords. It's found in a different place. So the first question people always ask me is, how do I make sure it's set up? How do I turn it on? Well, the answer is there's 2 places. The first one, you go to settings, you tap on your name, and you tap on iCloud, and you turn on Keychain. The second thing you want to do is go to settings and Safari and make sure that everything that says autofill is turned on. Simple as that. There's autofill contacts, autofill credit card, all that stuff. And then also technically, I think under settings and passwords, there's even an option that says autofill passwords, and you want to make sure that's on. But usually if the Keychain is on, then that's going to be on. But it doesn't hurt to triple check, right? Now, the beautiful thing about this is that once this is set up, it is super easy to autofill usernames and passwords. It's super easy to autofill, assuming your contact. Remember, a long time ago, way back at the beginning of this class, we talked about how important it is to have your contact card correctly set up. Well, here again, if you do, you will be able to automatically have forms filled out with all of your information. So if you're trying to create a new account and it asks for your first name, last name, street address, city, zip code, phone number, email address, birthday, all that stuff can be automatically filled out for you with literally like the tap of 2 or 3 icons, and that's it.
And I'll even take it a step further. Say you're talking to a family member and it's like, you know what? I want to come and visit you. What's your address? All you have to do is double tap in that field, say, write or dictate, my address is, hit the space bar, and I guarantee you, if you reach up a bit above the UI and O, your address will be there as an autofill option. Am I lying?
Nope, it does that with the phone number too.
Yep. So that's why we emphasize that your contact card be filled out to the best of your knowledge. Birthday, phone number, address, phone number, all that. Because Siri will help you out. You won't even have to write it down. It'll autofill it for you. You'll just have to double tap to confirm it.
Right. I'm gonna demonstrate a few of those right now. Autofill bar is the same as what is also thought of as the autocorrect bar or the quick bar, above the letters U, I, and O on the on-screen keyboard. And basically, that is where you're going to find all this information. When you are in an edit field for a form and you have the on-screen keyboard displayed, look above, tap above the UI and O, and I guarantee you're going to find several form options. You're going to find your autofill options. You're also going to find, in many, many cases, you're going to find next, previous, and done buttons. And it is important that you not confuse these with the potential next button that might be on the website itself. These, how do you know? They're specifically right above the UI and O, and they say when you hit it, it says toolbar, I think is what it says. It's really amazing. And those next and previous buttons that I was telling you about, they are actually very useful. Like a lot of times my thinking when I was new to this whole thing was, well, why can't I just reach up and double tap into the next edit field? Well, you can most of the time. But sometimes websites are coded in a weird way and it won't actually advance you that way. And these next and previous buttons will guarantee move you to the next edit field, the previous edit field, or when you hit done, then it'll take the keyboard away so that it indicates that you're finished and you can keep working on the website. Now, I'm going to demo a few things. The first one I'm going to demonstrate is that handy little tip that Cliff gave us about typing that your phone number or your address. I'm in a message here. I don't even know who the message is to because I didn't bother to look. I'm not really going to send it.
Cap M.
You're going to hear that.
My.
I'm going to type my
Space my
phone number. Phone number is space
is.
Now I'm going to reach up here to where I know the quick bar is, and I'm just in a messages app.
Work 81428 iPhone 81497 grab accent.
Okay.
I paste.
So it has my work and although it looks like I didn't update my work phone number in my own contact card. I need to take my own advice because that's an old number.
iPhone.
But my iPhone's correct.
81 inch.
I just double tapped it. So now
Messages. Camera. Apps. Message. Text field is editing. My phone number is 814.
and it's going to read my phone number. That's how easy it is. I didn't have to type that. I want to demonstrate logging into something. It's going to happen so quickly. It's going to be like lightning fast on the website that I'm going to demonstrate, because I'm going to demonstrate Hulu because I really like the way they do it. A couple different implementations of Keychain, just depending on how the website is coded. This is the simplest one. And it's going to, when I double tap in an edit field for like a username or password, it's going to automatically put a little like popover at the very bottom of the screen and say, log into Hulu. And if I swipe to the right, it's going to say use, and it'll give me the default email address that it thinks I want to use. And if I don't want to use that, I can swipe to the right to find options to choose from other passwords in the keychain or to display the keyboard if I want to type it manually. This is even simpler than having to reach up to the UI and O, and it works on certain websites. It's going to happen so fast. And when I do it, what'll happen even faster is it's going to try to authenticate with my face, because it will not insert a password without proper authentication. It won't even display the password for you without proper authentication. So you either have to use Face ID, excuse me, Face ID, Touch ID, or your device passcode. In my case, it's going to do Face ID, and it's going to be so quick, and it's automatically going to log me in then. So let's go to Safari.
Sign in to see your addresses. Log into Amazon.com.
See, it already placed me on that thing at the bottom of the page. I swipe to the right.
Use opening double quotation mark M.
And it's reading my email address. It said use, and then it read my email address. If I don't want to, I can swipe right
Keyboard button.
to get the keyboard or
Other passwords.
passwords. I do want to use that.
Use opening double.
So what I'm going to do is double tap. It's going to do Face ID, and it's going to log me in. Here we go.
Face ID authenticated.
And that's it. And it's logging me
Sign in.
in.
Heading
Sometimes it logs me in automatically. This one didn't. I have to hit the sign in button, but you'll notice that.
Change password. Forgot your password. Password. Secure text field.
Okay.
tap to-
This is one of those weird websites where you have to do it in 2 steps. So I got to double tap on password.
Insertion point. Log into Amazon.com. Use opening double. Face ID authenticated.
Okay.
Skip to main contact.
And now it logged me in.
Pet supplies.
I didn't even have to hit the login button now. It's just it was 2 steps. I had to do the same thing for the password as for the username. Some websites do that. Again, there's many, many different websites in the world. But you notice
Amazon. Skip to Amazon. Deliver to Matthew.
I'm logged in now. It has my name. So that's how easy it was. I didn't have to type a thing. That did take me by surprise because I don't log into it that often. But it's not the only one that does that. I've actually the Apple website, if you go to like appleid.apple.com, has its username or Apple ID and password fields on 2 separate pages. Like you have to enter the Apple ID and then hit continue. But the thing about it is it usually autofills both for you automatically. And sometimes
it does, but it actually does that on iCloud.com too.
Does it? Okay. And sometimes it doesn't even ask you. It'll just say, do you want to log in with? And it gives you the Apple ID already. So it's just, a lot of different forms that this can take. So you always have these, again, this used Face ID. It authenticated me. I'm in. I mean, it was that easy. Sign out. Here it is. Found it. What you could do
An account.
is you could use the item chooser,
Choose an account.
which is performing it's a 2-finger triple tap. Okay. It's a 2-finger triple tap. And what it brings up is a search field where I can search by name for things. And it also brings up an alphabetical listing of every element on the website or in the app that I'm using. So I could have searched for sign out. Again, I prefer to just explore, use headings in the rotor, use form controls, whatever I'm looking for, I can do that.
Choose an account. Heading
Choose
level,
an account.
Matthew Volbrecht. Link. VTech signed out. Link.
And I'm signed out,
Use another account.
but I'm
Link.
going to just hit that one and see what it does.
VTech Juggernaut at Matthew Volbrecht. Link. Choose and enter your choose an account.
Okay,
Show enter your password. Secure text field.
perfect.
Double tap to add.
This-
Hi Matthew.
This one,
Enter your password. Secure text field.
see, this one's not going to,
Double tap to edit. Use the road.
this one is not going to automatically do it, I don't think. Although, when I double tap on the form field, I might be in for a surprise and it might do it. But let's try it.
Insertion point. Log into Google.com.
Yes, it did. Okay, so it did it anyway. A lot of them are doing that now. If it didn't, though, you would just look up of the UI and O, and you'd have one of two things. You'd either have it say, if it can detect what the website is, like if it knows that it's Google, you'll see up there, password for google.com. And it won't read the password, but it'll read the username.
Use opening double Face ID authenticated.
There we go.
Hi Matthew.
If
Account. Link.
you have more than one, you'll swipe left and right, because it'll say password, for google.com, Cliff Miller Senior at whatever, or, Clifton dot, whatever different email addresses you might have. And if it's none of those, or if it can't determine what the website is through artificial intelligence, there'll just be a passwords button that will display all of your passwords. And you're going to have to use Touch ID or Face ID to authenticate before it will bring them up for you. But what it'll do is it will display the usernames. Again, it's not going to display the passwords even after you've authenticated with Face ID or Touch ID or your passcode. All it's going to do is bring up an alphabetical listing of all the websites you have. And apple.com, applebees.com. Well, I skipped Amazon, but you get the idea. And so then it'll read the email addresses or usernames associated with them. And you double tap on one and it will automatically fill it in. Okay. So that is how easy it is. Now, I am trying to think of a website very quickly where I could enter other personal info and have it automatically. Well, I'll tell you one I might be able to do. Let's see how quickly I can do this.
And necessary checkout email address. Order summary. Checkout email address. Insertion point at end.
Now I'm going to tap up above the I
9.
and above the numbers for me because it's an iPad.
$27. Apply. Link.
And listen,
Hide my email.
I have an option to do that.
Previous. Hot home.
You hear those
and
buttons?
hot, previous. Dimmed button. Next button.
Okay, so we're going to just do the email address, the home email.
Hot home. And Dutchville home. Name. Text field. Description.
Now I'm going to double
name. Text
tap
field,
on first.
Description. First. Insertion point at end.
And this time I'm going to look for autofill contact.
Apt. Suite. Matthew. Autofill contact.
So I could put
Matthew.
my name in there, but I'm just going to go to the left and do
Autofill contact button.
autofill contact because I need more than just my first name.
Autofill alert. Matthew Grayson Volbrecht. Home address.
Home address.
Work company. Customize button.
And customize this. I'm going to do my home.
Home address. Name. Text field is editing. Description. Address. For business name. Volbrecht. Text
Put
field.
my last name.
Address. For
Put my address.
city. State
Put my
country. United States.
country.
Postal code. 50.
Everything is here.
Pay now button.
Pay now.
Just pay now. Description.
So now we're looking
Description,
for
return to shop. Visit. Create an account.
We're looking for the
men. New credit card.
credit card information.
New credit card. Credit card number. Text field. Form start.
Double tap
Double tap. Insertion point at end.
above the UI and O.
8. Matthew Volbrecht's Visa. Apple Card. ending in 5,000.
That's what I want my Apple Card. I'm going to have to do Face ID.
Face ID authenticated. Safari, new credit card, text field, is editing. Form, text field. Text, new credit, text, cap L, 15,000, text field.
Zip code's
text,
there.
Submit, button.
And then I have a button here that says charge. And when I double tap that, it'll place the order. That's it, guys, for demonstrating filling out forms. I want to take a quick look at the basics of the mail app. We're just going to get started. You know, I really think Apple Mail is the best mail app. No surprise there, right? But you don't need any other mail apps because you can add any kind of email account you want to your iPad, your iPhone, whatever, your Mac, and then use Apple Mail to access it. As we've already discussed in the Q&A time, there's free iCloud.com email for anyone who wants it. So even if you've set up your services with an Apple ID that is a different email address, right? Your Apple ID is at Gmail or Comcast or whatever, you can still have an iCloud.com email address. And so that is a great feature. And the Apple Mail app is very powerful. It allows you to do very professional email addresses. You can have different signatures for every account. You can have, rich text formatting in your email and, of course, all kinds of attachments. And then don't forget that when it comes to receiving mail, there are many ways to sort and organize your mail. Okay. Now, we consider advanced sorting to be an advanced topic. And what that means is it's going to take place in a digital cafe. It's not going to be part of this class. It's going to be one of our TTJ cafes. Some of those are free. Some of those are paid. Just stay tuned for details as we reveal them. And if you're subscribed to that calendar, they'll automatically show up as well. So you'll know what's going on. The thing is that you can sort email in a more simple way without the advanced sorting right in the mail app. You can use what's known as the universal inbox, which is the inbox for all the accounts you have. You can also sort it with what's known as smart mailboxes. And these are like automatically all the unread messages or all the messages with attachments or all the messages you received today, those kinds of things. So we have a lot of options. I'm going to open up the mail app and I'm going to show you some of that. I will go to the mail app and I probably have a bunch of unread messages because I have been working most of the day and then I was out to lunch and doing more work this afternoon. See how many unread emails it says I have.
Reminders, edit mode, mail, 616 unread emails.
Yeah. So that is your badge count. That automatically tells you how many unread messages you have last time it checked. So we're going to open up the mail app. Once I open mail, I like to tap on the bottom to sort of see the status bar and see that it's updated and really how many there are now that it's had a chance to do that.
Toolbar, checking for mail, updated just now, 624 unread.
Okay. All right. So at the top of the screen, this is another one of those list apps, right? No tabs, but there is a status bar at the bottom, which we just heard. And if we swipe to the right,
updated just now, compose, toggle filtering, button, messages, toolbar, toggle filtering, compose, button.
We can compose.
Double tap and hold to bring up drafts.
Okay. So you hear those hints. That's really good information. Bottom right is the compose button.
Compose button.
All right. We're going to do a 4-finger single tap near the top because I don't want to accidentally turn the speaker off by reaching up too high.
Updated just now. Mailboxes. Back button.
And I have a back button that takes me to my list of mailboxes. Let's do that.
Mailbox. Edit button.
I now have an edit button.
Edit button.
Which allows me to multi-select, like to select multiple mailboxes, to enable various smart mailboxes that may otherwise not be enabled, and even to create a new mailbox. From the edit screen, we can create new mailboxes. What I want to do is just swipe to the right to show you some of my mailboxes.
Mailboxes, heading. All inboxes. 624 unread messages.
And that is our very first one. It's the universal inbox, also known as all inboxes. Every account that I have on this iPhone is going to receive emails on that in that inbox.
iCloud. 36 unread messages.
So that's my iCloud email address. And that's the inbox for my iCloud.
Comcast. 586 unread messages.
Yeah, that's the one that a lot of my, I don't know, promotional, what we might call junk mail comes to. So many of those messages are probably not, but I also get mail there from our Only Apple Talk and Support list, our public beta users list, our Committed Walk with Christ list. So I am receiving those kinds of support emails at that address also.
Gmail. 2 unread messages.
Okay, that's my Gmail address for YouTube.
Professional email mail.
And that's my
VIP.
professional email, which it doesn't look like I got anything new since I last checked. Now, I did check those earlier today because I do try to check them throughout the day. And I will tell you, this does not have my support, the support at ttjtech.net. That only comes to my iPad. I don't do that on my phone. I have both of my professional email, both info at ttjtech and support at ttjtech coming to my iPad, but I only have one of them coming to the phone. I also have the VIP,
Trash.
which is not something that you create on your own. That's just there.
VIP.
All right. But you can add people to VIPs so that, you'll always be notified.
iCloud. 36 unread messages button. Expanded.
All right.
Double tap to collapse.
What is
available?
Okay. So what is this, guys? What this is now we are past all of the inboxes. We're to the actual accounts. We can collapse and expand these. So every mailbox that's in a particular account is going to be here. So I'm under iCloud right now.
Inbox. 36 unread drafts. Sent. Junk. Trash. Archive.
So those are my mailboxes within iCloud. And then
Comcast. Inbox. Draft. Sent. Junk.
see the same kind of thing for each account. Okay? Now, if I want to put some smart mailboxes on, because I use them on my iPad, I don't think I have any turned on my phone, but I definitely use them on my iPad. So if I want to turn them on, I can go up here.
Mailboxes. Edit. Button. Done.
And I can...
Flagged. Reorder VIP. Selected. Professional email. Selected. Gmail.
Those are selected, but let's go to the right.
Reorder VIP. Flagged.
You see, you can move them around, too.
Flagged.
I'm going to turn on this one, because I do flag messages at times.
Selected. Flagged. Reorder. Unread.
I like the unread smart mailbox.
Selected. Unread. Reorder. Unread. To or CC. Attachments.
Yeah, I'm going to put that one on, because that's anything with attachments.
Selected. Attachments. Reorder. Thread notifications.
Nah.
Muted threads. Today.
Today I like.
Selected. All drafts.
And we'll do...
All archive. All drafts.
All drafts.
All sent.
All sent.
All trash.
All trash.
Selected.
All right, and let's...
Group. Reorder all trash.
Notice at the very bottom of the screen...
Toolbar. New mailbox. Button.
We can create a new mailbox. But I'm going to just...
Mailbox. Done. Button.
I'm going to hit done.
Edit.
So those extra ones will now show up here.
Unread. Attachments. Flag. VIP. Professional email. VIP. Flagged. 12 unread messages. Unread. 6 attachments. 16 unread. Today. 60. All drafts. All sent. 7 unread. All trash. iCloud.
Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead into one of these mailboxes, and let's just go into all inboxes.
Gmail. Edit. All inboxes. Select messages. Unread.
Now at the top of the screen
Mailboxes. Back button.
is our back button. We can go back to the list of mailboxes.
Edit button.
We can edit within a mailbox. What that does is it lets us select multiple messages to move or to delete or what have you.
All inboxes. Heading. Search. Search field. Dictate. Dimmed button.
So we can
Double tap to start.
we can actually search for mailboxes by sender's name, by subject, whatever. And notice the dictate button is there, although we can't use it right now because we're on the Zoom call, but it is there.
Messages. Unread. Pascal and dictate.
So now I'm on my list of messages.
Messages. Unread. Unread. Western. Unread. No hyphen reply at Amazon.com. Matthew sent you printing information. Unread. Western Digital Store. Dre and Unsparen 3:42 p.m. Unread. Return at Amazon.com. Unread. Apple Store. Your shipment is on its way. Unread. Riders Republic. Unread. Build-A-Bear Workshop. Teddy bear emoji. Reg heart emoji. 10,000 furry friends donated. 3:22 p.m. Our hashtag Hugs for Heroes campaign continues. View online shop gifts vertical line gift cards vertical line sale 2.
So what that does,
Available.
what it does, and it's at actions available, what it does is it reads the name of the sender. It says that it's unread. It tells you who it's from. And it reads the subject, and then it reads a message preview, which you can adjust in your settings. By default, I think it's the first 2 lines. And if you want to hear it again, you can do you can do a 3-finger single tap.
Messages. Group. Our hashtag Hugs for Heroes campaign continues. View online shop gifts vertical line gift cards vertical line sale 2. Page 1 of 1390. Center of screen.
Now that's how you can hear the message preview again easily. If I swipe up and down, we know there are rotor actions. It said actions available.
Delete. Drag item. More. Flag. Mark as read. Activate default.
And more has in it things like
Drag item. More. Build-A-Bear Workshop. Close button. Reply. Reply all. Forward. Trash message. Flag. Mark as read. Move message. Archive message. Move to junk. Mute. Notify me. Notify me. Notify me.
Now,
Build close button.
lots of stuff in that more menu that's not even everything you can do with it, but if we double tap it, we can read it.
Mailboxes. Back but messages. Unread. Riders Republic. Unread. Build-A-Bear Workshop. Select message header. This message is message content. Build-A-Bear Workshop.
Okay, some very important stuff here. At the top left is your back button.
Toolbar. Compose. All inboxes. 623 unread messages. Back button.
And if I swipe to the right,
Previous message button.
I can go to the previous one.
Next message button.
Next message.
Message header. This message is from a mailing list. Actions available. Close image. Unsubscribe button. From Build-A-Bear Workshop.
All right, I want you to understand what you're seeing there because that's actually really cool. That is not part of the message. There's probably something in the message further down that says to unsubscribe, click here or whatever, but that's not what this was. This is Apple. It's Apple's artificial intelligence telling you this message appears to be from a mailing list. If you want to, you can unsubscribe right here. And that's on the top of any message that Apple, believes to be from a mailing list. If you choose unsubscribe, Apple will do the best it can to send an unsubscribe notification to the email list on your behalf. A very convenient way to get rid of a lot of, junk mail that keeps coming in. Now we keep swiping right. We'll get to the body of this.
Matthew Raisin 3:22 p.m. Teddy bear emoji. Reg heart emoji. Message content. Build-A-Bear Workshop Incorporated. Link. Image. View online. Link. Shop gifts. Link. Vertical line. Gift cards. Link. Slash. Link. Link. Too
Okay.
Too fun not to follow. Actions of Facebook. Link. Twitter. Link.
All right, so this is a message from Build-A-Bear Workshop. So you get the idea. The body of the message was there. It told us message content when we got there. Let's go.
All inboxes.
See if I can
Mailbox.
find something else that I can read that's a little easier to read, but that is not, confidential.
Unread. No hyphen. Unread. Western Digitals. Unread. Pascal and Petrus. Oates. Music playing on my iPhone. 3:40.
That's a message that I received from our support list. I won't read the whole thing just for privacy reasons, but I'll show you that we can.
Select message 1 of 3. Message 2 of 3.
And I opened this up also because this is a threaded message. What that means is that there's been back and forth communication or possibly more than 2 people talking about the same thing with the same subject line. And when you get to a message like that, you double tap it. And now what I can do is I can touch the middle of the screen.
Message 1 of 3. Pascal Lambert. Only Apple TNS Plus owner at group owner email. Separate. New topic. Link.
So I could read that person's message. Again, I'm not going to for privacy reasons, just because it is a subscription list. I assume the person would be okay with it, but we don't want to violate anything there. But I could swipe left and right to read that. But if I want to go to the next one, I turn my rotor to messages.
Messages.
And I swipe down.
Message 2 of 3. Patras to Erlings. I found this message 3 of 3. Patras to Erlings. Oh, forgot to mention.
So you can see it'll already start reading it, and I might have to swipe to the right to read more lines of it, but basically it's going to read it for me, and that's how easy it is to move between messages. All I did was swipe down to go to the next message. I can swipe back up to go to the previous.
Message 2 of 3. Message 1 of 3. Pascal Lambert. I am very sorry for...
Now, if you were to want to read the next line of it by swiping right...
Blessings.
Now what?
Actions available.
What it does, because there are actions available, is it turns me away from the messages option. So I'm not on messages in the rotor anymore. I'm on actions.
Trash. Flag. Reply.
Okay. So I'd have to turn the rotor back to messages again if I wanted to keep going.
Messages.
All right. So just keep that in mind. But I just want to show you that as I mentioned to you and I showed you, the rotor has the reply options in it. But you'll get even more options if you touch the bottom right of the screen here.
Toolbar. Compose button.
Swipe to the left.
More actions button.
And double tap.
More address to Erlings.
Look at all the options you have here.
Close button. Reply. Reply all. Forward. Trash 3 messages. Flag 3 messages. Mark as unread. Move 3 messages. Ellipse. Archive 3 messages. Move to junk. Mute. Notify me. Notify me.
Okay. And when you select, well,
dismiss pop-up.
Let's get out of that.
Message 3 of 3. Patrick 340 TO colon only Apple from unsubscribe. Close image. This message from.
Okay, that's even considered a mailing list. If you select
TO colon only 343 for TO colon only app from address to Erlings address button.
Like if you double tap on any of those, it'll show you the address of the person and let you reply to it or add them to your contacts.
Unsubscribe button.
What else did I want to do here? There's a button. Let me go to the top of the screen.
All inbox subject all inbox 3 messages. Previous message but next message 3 of 3. Patras message 2 of 3. C underscore right square message 125 TO call from unsubscribe. This next message 3 messages 3 messages 3 previous message but next
okay
message.
So it's that easy. In most cases you can even print these messages and all sorts of things. So it's a very, very easy app to work with. It's a very easy app to use. God bless you and have a great weekend, everybody.